Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here coming at you with the 6th video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Elden Ring. We last left off just completing Ranni's questline and setting up one of the optional endings that you can get for the game, as well as getting some legendary things along the way. Now, one optional thing that you have to do here that really isn't optional if you're trying to get the Platinum is, if you come back here to Redmane Castle, you can find and talk to the Jester, and upon doing so and reloading the area, you'll know if it'll be okay because he'll be sitting in the chair like so. He'll say he has things he needs to do.
At last. Brave the Sellen festival. Finally, I'm no longer. I have a task. Old business. May we meet again.
So from here, basically what you simply want to do is just warp back to the Grace. Alright, and from here you should be able to notice that now there is a new boss door. Technically you're supposed to fight this boss before you do Radahn, but oh well. In doing so, we get another legendary armament. As you can see though, with our new weapon in hand, we easily take out most of the enemies in our way. And just like that, it is done. And you will get the Ruined Greatsword, one of the legendary armaments that you will need to get. There's going to be 3 more optional things that we're going to end up doing while we are in the process or in the mindset of doing it. The next one is going to be right about here. So what you can do is head to the Erdtree Gazing Hill Grace that we got last episode. Alright, now as you can see, we've made it to the Golden Lineage Evergaol, I don't know how to pronounce it. You will need at least 1 Stone Sword key to activate, and upon doing this, we will then get our next legendary talisman, so I'll see you once this is said and done. Alright, and as you can see, we have now gotten the Godfrey icon. That'll be our 4th legendary talisman down. Only a couple more to go. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be going from the Erdtree Gazing Hill all the way up to this little area here and fighting the boss here in this little tower castle, and that'll give us our next legendary armament. And then we're eventually going to be making our way through this specific area and finding a NPC that we can interact with to get another legendary incantation, and then start a questline thing with the sorcery chick that you can find in Limgrave. So yeah, I'm going to see you once we are here and have defeated the boss. Now, once you have defeated this person, you will also get a trophy for beating them, as well as getting the Marae's Executioner Sword, which is one of the legendary armaments that we will need to get, on top of everything else that we also have to do. So from here, we're actually going to be heading back towards trying to figure out the best possible route from this. I believe we're just going to be going from outer wall, cut through, go around, and just follow the path around, and I'm gonna try and figure out the best route and then show you guys how to get there. Once I can also get the map piece, that'll definitely help me out. So I'll see you then. Alright, well, I have officially found the route that you can take to get into Volcano Manor directly without having to teleport or anything like that, and to get the map fragment, and then to eventually lead down and around to get the next legendary incantation. The downside is that it is a very long path. I am going to show the whole path unedited all the way through to get to Volcano Manor. There is one optional boss that you can fight along the way. You don't have to, as it's not going to lock you in an arena and you can't escape. So yeah, you can just follow the path that I take from here, grab the graces if you want, or not, your choice. So yeah. Alright, so actually disregard that last little clip, as actually from Erdtree Gazing Hill you can run up this little side and head in, and I'll show you the path there. But if you want to know how to get to Volcano Manor, basically from here you'll basically go from this one down underneath the bridge. You'll keep heading down and then across a bridge, and then eventually you'll be up, and then you'll just keep going up this mountain. You'll be climbing up ladders and such. It'll be like on the side right around here. There'll be a massive ladder you can climb up, and then eventually you'll end up at this crater right here with the grace just underneath, and then this little rock gap right here will allow you to jump down and lead right into the front of Volcano Manor. So there's that. And then you can also grab the map fragment while you're there. However, to get where we don't need to do that, as I've realized after doing that whole thing and recording a whole bit. So, from here I'm going to show you the path that you actually have to take. Yay. Alright, now that you've made it here, you can walk up and just talk to this guy, and he will give you a legendary incantation called Comet Azure. Now, if you want a extra spell slot, you can fight this boss that's just right here, and it'll drop you a, memory slot. And now from here, what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to head all the way back down to Limgrave, right here, and we're going to talk to Sellen, and then she'll give us a key, and then that will allow us to head to this very specific area, which I will show you from the Church of the Plague. So yeah, I'll see you there. Alright, now, we're here at the Church of the Plague. If you don't know how to get there, there's two ways that you can do that. You can basically just take the normal route and head from Caelid Highway South and follow this around all the way up and around. Or you could do the puzzle in Celia, the magic town. You have to light 3 braziers and then a barrier will be released, and then this will allow you to just take a more direct path here. But from here, we're basically just going to be going this way. We'll be heading up here. And it'll be behind this enemy who has some pretty strong incantations, so be careful about that. He can hit pretty hard. But you'll find that there's a rock right here that you can hit. And in this cave is where we are trying to go. Alright, now from here you're just going to follow the path that I take, and this will lead you to the hidden little area. A lot of hidden little tunnels, but if you take this path like I do across and then drop down here, you can see the door off in the distance. Make sure you've exhausted all of Sellen's dialogue and partake in her journey with her. This will allow you to get the key to open this little spell here. And in the back here you can find this guy here, and he will give you another legendary incantation. These Stars of Ruin. Now basically from here we're basically done with most of the side stuff. Now it's just going to be entering the city of Leyndell, which is going to be basically all the way from right here all the way around and over to about right here. There's going to be a mini boss that we'll have to fight along the way just to get into the city, and that's perfectly fine. So I'll see you guys once we're there. Alright, now as you'll see, I have made my way from this grace up here all the way to here, and as you can see we now have our next boss that we have to fight, but we don't get a trophy for doing this. This just allows us into the city, or direct access into the main way you're supposed to go into the city. But as you can see, with our weapon in hand, it is a fairly easy fight. You'll get his weapon and shield. And we can grab this site of grace while we're here. But before we officially enter, I know I said we would, there is actually a very specific optional area that we need to go to. Where, I believe, yes, it was over here. The Great Waterfall Basin. Alright, so from here, as you can see, there is another little tomb casket coffin that we can rest in. And this will actually lead us to the Deeproot Basin. Now while we're here, we're going to be getting a couple of things. We're going to be getting another legendary incantation, which I'll show you just from here, and then the next thing that we're going to end up doing is a quest line that will result in us getting a pretty optional boss if you don't know about it. So I'm going to show you from here. But as you can see, we now have our next legendary incantation, Elden Stars. And from here you can basically just kind of drop down. And we can just make our way onto the next area. These tree roots are a little bit confusing at times, but they're not too bad once you know how to navigate the area. There will be one more grace that we can grab in this area before we get to the next main portion of this little side area here. As you'll see, this area is kind of massive. But we're basically going to be trying to head up and to the next grace. So I will show you the way from here. Alright, now from here, you will actually have what appears to be a giant boss arena that you'd expect. But no, it isn't. But you can prepare yourself and get ready, as there is slightly a kind of boss-like theme for this. So you'll get close. And then, bam, there you go. There will be at least 3 waves of champions that you will have to face. It'll go 1, 1, and then 3. They're not entirely that bad. As you can see, most of these enemies are pretty weak to what we got going on. And having our mimic will definitely help. Man, this guy is really rolling. But that should be the end of it. Now, the third one is the one that's probably going to get most people, since there's 3 enemies. But what you can do is you can set up on this third one here, and then just get ready. And just like that, be done. And then there should just be one more. You will get Fia's Mist, and now what you can do is you can actually talk to Fia.
Ah, I knew you would. What is it you into denial like the dogma?
But instead what you want to do is say, no, I want to be held.
You are and I am the god they call, yet you... Have you when the first god wins out there is and I must before the...
You can just skip
when
through
God
most of
wins
her
another
dialogue.
and I must before that my hands will you still...
You'll want to give her the curse mark of death that we've gotten.
With this and claim you and though I can I hold...
She'll then hold you even tighter for a little bit. You'll get a radiant Baldachin's blessing.
I will soon and it the new
And then
life
she'll
as the
tell you
moon
what
is
she's gonna
brandished,
do.
stay the by becoming. To conceive brandish stay the by becoming.
And then once you've exhausted all of her dialogue, we're actually going to take a moment and just rest at our grace. This will allow time to kind of skip forward for a moment. You might have to quit out and reload. Yeah, you will.
This is good, but I am so I choose to lie and I will be who will in what great.
Actually, you don't. Okay, that's good. I forgot. Sorry. Now this time, once you rest at the grace, things will be a little bit different. You can then interact with her dream, which is kind of weird. Don't ask me, but, you know. As you'll see, she is sound asleep. And from here, we can actually activate the hidden boss fight. And do be ready once you start this, though. Alright, now, as soon as you spawn in, you'll be in the fight with Dragon Fortifacts. And do be careful, as there is Death Breath, Lightning, and Fire in this fight. This boss can be pretty tough, but once again, ice melts all. The Death Breath will dissipate after a bit, so there is that. But we almost got him. And just like that, another easy boss fight thanks to the Ice Rind Hatchet. That'll be another optional boss down, and that'll get you guys another trophy along the way. Alright, and when you load back in afterwards, you can see that Fia is dead, and you can receive the Mending Rune of the Death Prince. Now, we're not officially done here, but we are almost done with this episode, sadly. So, resting at the Grace, you will notice...
Prince of Death, take a good long look.
that this guy has.
The Golden Order, the Order's justice writ in
The guy that you
blood.
gave the armor before
This
the
is
Valiant
what's become of
Gargoyles
your
is now here.
precious witch. Naught but expired.
They're rotten. Now I can honeyed.
If you talk to him a couple times, you can just get rid of all of his dialogue. And then what you want to do is how we always do it. We want our armor back. Now, upon receiving your armor back, you will also get his weapon that he was using. Huzzah! Oh, I'm evil, I know. Now we can finally take this teleporter that's just been so in our face this whole time, and we'll still end up in Leyndell, the capital city. But as you can see, we are now here in Leyndell. If you don't believe me, I can prove it right here. If we head this way and head up this lift, it'll actually lead right outside to the capital rampart, which was the grace that we just got after defeating the Draconic tree sentinel. But from here, we're just going to head up. And make our way to our next actual grace, which would be here to the right. And this is where I'm going to officially end the video, as the next one will be officially going through all of Leyndell and doing all the important stuff that we have to do, which is actually pretty short in terms of everything. So yeah, just gonna keep that in mind, but I will see you all in the next one.